I was so tired I could barely feel my legs. It was almost 11 p.m., and the cold had already started to settle deep in my bones. The street outside the cafe was quiet, mostly empty. Just a few dim headlights in the distance, and that one busted street lamp flickering overhead. I ordered an Uber like I always did. Same pickup spot, same routine. The app said 2 minutes. When the black sedan pulled up, I glanced at the license plate. It matched. "You Kayla?" the driver asked as I opened the door. His voice was smooth, too smooth, like melted plastic. He was older than most drivers I'd had. Mid-40s, maybe. Well-dressed, attractive in that polished, bland way. "Yeah," I said. He gave me a once-over, smiling too long. "You're even prettier than your picture." I laughed awkwardly and shut the door, instantly wishing I had canceled the ride. We drove in silence for the first few blocks. I tried to focus on my phone, scrolling, pretending to be busy, but I could feel his eyes flick up into the rearview mirror again and again. "You always work this late?" he asked. I didn't want to talk. "Sometimes." "You live alone?" That made me freeze. My thumb hovered over my phone screen. "Why?" He chuckled. "Just curious. Gotta admit, you seem like the type who shouldn't be out here by herself. Someone might try something." There was something oily in his tone. I looked at the GPS. We weren't heading toward my apartment. We were heading in the opposite direction. "Hey," I said, trying to stay calm. "This isn't the right way. I know a shortcut." "No, really. Just take me home. I don't care about the shortcut." He ignored me. I felt the blood drain from my face. "You know," he said slowly, "I don't usually talk to writers like this, but there's something about you. You feel familiar." My heart thumped hard enough to hurt. I opened my Maps app, still going the wrong way. "Let me out," I said. "Now." "I don't think you get it, Kayla." He said my name like he owned it. "I've seen you before. You always stand in the same spot outside that cafe. Every night, like clockwork." That's when it hit me. This wasn't some random creep. He'd been watching me. My hands were shaking. I tried calling 911, but I had no signal. I was trapped in this moving box with a man who knew my schedule, my name, my routine, probably even my apartment number. He kept talking, but I didn't hear most of it. Something about fate, about how we were meant to meet. My eyes locked on the red light ahead. A gas station. Bright. Open. When the car slowed, I made my move. I yanked the door handle and threw myself out, barely managing to keep my footing. "Hey!" he shouted behind me. I heard the door slam, tires screeching. I ran like hell. My knees hit the sidewalk hard, but I didn't stop. I burst into the gas station, nearly collapsing against the counter. The clerk jumped. "You okay?" "Call the police," I said. "Right now." They came fast. I gave them everything. But the driver, gone. The car, untraceable. The license plate was fake. The profile was fake. No history, no real ID. A phantom. The worst part? The way he said my name. The way he smiled. Like he'd picked me out of a crowd. Like he wasn't finished. I moved the next week. Got rid of every ride app. Changed my schedule. My number. My locks. But sometimes, when I'm alone, especially late at night, I swear I hear a car crawling down the street behind me. No engine sound, no headlights, just that same presence, watching, waiting. I keep telling myself it's in my head. But last month, a girl from a diner across town went missing after her shift. They found her phone on the side of the road. The last ping was from an untraceable Sometimes I wonder if he ever stopped watching me, or if he's just waiting until I slip back into my old routine.
I've been driving Uber for 4 years now. You see a lot in this line of work. Drunks, cheaters, heartbreakers. People pour their secrets into the back seat like it's a confessional. Most of the time, I keep my mouth shut. Eyes on the road. Mouth zipped. But some nights crawl under your skin and never leave. It was almost midnight when the ping came in. Pick up near the bus depot. Destination listed as a town nearly 90 minutes away. Long haul. Good money. I accepted it. He was already waiting at the curb when I pulled up. Thin kid. Couldn't have been older than 19. Skinny jeans, hoodie 2 sizes too big. Backpack slung over one shoulder. He looked like he hadn't slept in a week. Pale, twitchy, and the smell hit me the second he got in. Like sweat, smoke, and something moist beneath it all. Like rot. Late night, I said, trying to keep it casual. He didn't answer. Just nodded, eyes on the floorboard. I double-checked the app. Headed out to Elm River, huh? He mumbled something like, yeah, but it barely registered. We pulled away, the city lights fading behind us as we hit the interstate. Rain tapped lightly at the windshield. He didn't look at his phone once. Just stared out the window with this haunted, dead-eyed look, breathing slow and shallow. Every so often he'd mutter under his breath. Couldn't make out the words. I started feeling off. Like something heavy was in the car. A pressure in the air that made my chest tight. You all right back there? I asked. He blinked, like he hadn't realized I was speaking. You hungry or anything? I can stop for food. He looked at me, really looked, for the first time. Eyes rimmed red. Hollow. No point, he said. That sat in my gut like lead. About halfway through the trip, without warning, my phone buzzed. The ride had been canceled. I looked at the mirror. Hey man, did you mean to do that? He was already unbuckling his seatbelt. Let me out here. We were on a stretch of I-75. Nothing but trees and fog for miles. No lights, no exits. What? No man, I can't. This is the middle of nowhere. Let me out, he snapped. His voice cracked like something inside him had finally broken. I slowed the car, more out of shock than agreement, pulling over onto the shoulder. The moment I stopped, he was out the door, sprinting toward the guardrail. It didn't click until he was halfway over. He wasn't getting out for air. He was trying to jump. I don't remember unbuckling, just running, screaming. My boots slipped in the wet grass as I grabbed the back of his hoodie and yanked him down with everything I had. He hit the ground hard, screaming, thrashing, sobbing like an animal. I can't do it anymore, he kept saying. I don't want to go back. I pinned him down with one hand, fumbling for my phone with the other. Called 911. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Cops showed up 10 minutes later. Paramedics too. He didn't fight them, just laid there, staring at the sky, rain soaking into his clothes. He looked empty, like someone who'd already left his body hours ago. They took him away, never told me his name. All I know is he never made it to Elm River, and no one ever asked me for a report. A few weeks later, I tried looking it up. Suicides, missing persons, mental health holds. Nothing. It's like he vanished after that night. But sometimes I dream about that moment. His face as he looked over the edge. Like he'd already seen what was waiting for him down there. And wanted it. Now, every time I get a late night long distance ping, I hesitate. Because there's something worse than death sitting in the back seat. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you get to pull it back just before it slips away.
My name is Jordan, and up until last fall, I thought I had everything figured out. Scholarship to a Division I school, starting shortstop. Scouts had started coming to games. I could practically smell the big leagues. All I had to do was keep grinding, keep showing up. That day, we'd run drills for 5 straight hours under a sun that didn't give a damn. My legs felt like concrete, and my arm was half dead from throwing heat. I didn't have it in me to walk the mile back to my dorm, so I did what any tired college kid would do. I called an Uber. It was 6:43 p.m. when the car pulled up. A rusty old Dodge, not what I was expecting, but the app matched the plates. I opened the door and immediately got hit with a wall of beer and BO. The driver was this old white dude. Wild, scraggly beard, red nose, sweat-stained flannel. He looked like he'd just crawled out of a bar fight and forgot to finish it. "You Jordan?" he slurred. I should have walked away. My gut screamed it, but I was too tired to fight that voice. I just wanted to get home, shower, and sleep. "Yeah," I muttered, sliding in. The moment the door shut, he floored it. No music, just the sound of tires gripping too hard, engine whining, wind whistling past windows that didn't seal anymore. I watched the speedometer creep up, 65, 75, 90. We hadn't even hit the freeway yet. "Hey man," I said, trying to keep it light. "You're going kind of fast." He didn't answer, just grinned. His yellow teeth glowed in the rearview mirror like they had a story to tell, one that didn't end well. "You ever feel like you're stuck in the wrong life?" he said suddenly, voice cracked and soaked in whiskey. "Like someone swapped you out for someone else who got to matter?" I stayed silent. My heart was starting to race. "I had a shot once," he went on. "Baseball, just like you, I bet. But nobody gave a damn. Nobody watched. You know what they did? They forgot me. They let me rot." He laughed, a sharp, bitter sound, and pressed harder on the gas. We hit the highway doing over 100. "Let me out," I said, gripping the edge of the seat. "I'm not kidding. Let me out." He looked back at me, just for a second, but long enough for everything to go black. I remember the sound of screaming tires, metal folding like paper, glass raining down, my head slamming against something hard and hot. Then silence, like the world had been punched out of existence. When I came to, I was upside down. The car had rolled into a ditch. Smoke was pouring from the engine. My legs were twisted at angles they shouldn't be. My right arm, the one I pitched with, was bent like a question mark. The old man, he was already crawling out, laughing. "Guess it's your turn now," he said, stumbling off into the trees, bloody but walking like it was just another night at the bar. I was screaming when they found me. Compound fractures, torn ligaments, shattered wrist. The surgeons did what they could, but I knew before they even said it. Baseball was over. Not just this season, forever. The police found the car, but not the driver. The Uber profile was a fake, burner phone, no record, like he'd never existed. But I know he did. I see his face every night when I try to sleep. That smile, that voice. Your turn now. Because that's what he wanted, to ruin someone else's future, to pass it on. And the sickest part? Some nights, when I sit in this shitty dorm chair with screws in my leg and scars crawling up my arm like veins, I understand him, and I wonder, if I ever get the chance to drive again, will I let someone in? And will I make them understand too?